Hello fellow humans, how are you? Today I'm here with one of my closest friends, Moni.
Hello.
And I thought for my 1 month update on testosterone, it'd be cool to do a friend interview, and yeah, so other people have an idea of stuff. This is Moni, everyone. Say hello. Again. Yep. We've known each other basically since the day I was born.
Pretty much.
Moni's a year older than me, so she was around before I was, but she came in when I was in the hospital, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Before we begin, I thought I'd just do the quick voice comparison thing that I did last month. But while I was gone, waiting for that slithering spawn, somewhat forlorn, I remembered our complex file. You see, we don't have to force it, this beat, this rhyme. It unfolds on its own to become this perfect line. And now it gets stuck fast between both me and you, holding us together like thickening glue. Next month. Come back for it next month.
Is that all? I didn't get much of a reprieve.
Yeah, it's not particularly exciting. I'm gonna ask Moni some questions just about this past year and like since, I came out to her as transgender as well as everyone. And yeah, just how she feels generally about it all. So how did you feel when I first came out to you as transgender?
You were in Africa, therefore you told me over Facebook, which I think possibly affected how I responded to it, I have to say. It would have been very different if it had been in person.
Yeah.
So I think because it was over Facebook, and things over Facebook are different, I felt a bit unsure. I was like, are you just drunk?
Are you wasted? I don't know.
So I do think that was my first impression, and then when you talked to me about it over a few more days, I was realised like this was a real thing.
And I think I came out to you at the time as genderqueer.
Yes.
Rather than, or gender fluid rather than transgender male, which was what I knew at the time of what I was, but I wanted Moni to sort of be smooth, to be
have a smooth transition.
Smooth transition into the situation, so it wasn't suddenly like, oh, okay.
At the time, I didn't actually know what genderqueer or transgender actually meant.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me now, a year on, now that I do know, I sort of can't remember what I knew then, but I'm pretty sure I didn't really know what it meant.
Yeah, I remember having to explain it to you what it was.
Because I'd never really heard of it.
Yeah.
Education system. I also think I'd have to say I was surprised because not only was I surprised that you told me you were transgender or genderqueer at the time, I was surprised, I think, that you told me over Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that in itself surprised me.
Well, I wanted to tell you as soon as possible, and it's, I don't know, those sort of things, it's kind of hard to tell people in person, because this was like very early on, like I'd only told my mum not that long ago and one other friend, and it's, for me it was a very big like fear of rejection at the time, and so I was kind of afraid to tell you in person, and I actually back then physically couldn't tell anyone in person at all that I was transgender without like spending a decent hour just being like, yeah, there's this thing I want to tell you, and then sort of freaking out about it. So what has been the hardest part for you with me being transgender?
I'd have to say initially, and it probably has changed over time, initially it was probably the dealing with changing from Amelia to Emile and from she to he. But I have to say that was only a very initial issue, because I actually found I was able to do that a lot more easily and a lot more quickly than I thought, because I know other people around me have struggled with that a lot more than I have. I got pretty good at saying he fairly quickly. Which has been really amazing for me too, because being able to have someone there for you that, slips into that a lot quicker is really amazing to keep my confidence and my strength and my mental, health up as well. What are your thoughts for the more physical side of my transition? This whole year I've just been socially transitioning, and now I'm starting on my journey of physical transition. What are your thoughts around that? So I think obviously today I've experienced the first tiny bit of your physical transition, which is a voice change.
Yeah.
So hasn't been too drastic, so I'm coping very well. I think as we've discussed many times with testosterone, we just don't know how it's going to affect you personally. Therefore, it's kind of quite exciting. Yeah. Every time I see you, I kind of think, oh, I wonder what little change there'll be this time, kind of thing. And I feel like I'm going to feel that sort of for the next few years, noticing the slight differences. In terms of surgery, I sort of think that's a very, very intrusive step that you have to take. And I think that's something that I would find very difficult to do.
Intrusive in terms of to my body, or intrusive in terms of other people's perceptions of me?
No. Intrusive in terms of your body. Yeah. For example, the potential scarring, that kind of thing. Like, you have to, be aware it is there. Like, I suppose into the future that is something that I am concerned for you now at this point, is how will that work, kind of thing. Yeah. I'm also aware how costly it will be financially, which is a big undertaking at your age. Yeah. So I'm very much aware of that. If it is what you need to do to feel that way yourself, then I totally support you. In terms of hormones, stick to that in the conversation. I think I am looking forward to seeing the changes in you, because it is, as I said, it's kind of exciting seeing you different. It's very interesting as well.
It's
like,
so interesting.
So just the little things. So I'd have to say I'm excited for the next 12 months.
Maybe we should do like another interview in like 12 months time.
We definitely should.
And see what happens.
On the 19th of November?
Yeah, maybe.
It's a date.
It's a date. It's a date, guys. Physical transition for me, part of being someone who's transgender, you have to make the decision, whether you're comfortable within your own body as it is, and some people decide that they are, but for me personally, I really want to be taken and perceived as a male, and it's very exciting, therefore, to be able to be taking this journey where hormones are helping me slowly but surely achieve the sound of my voice and the look that I'm hoping for. And I've come to terms with, long before I even came out to people, I came to terms with the reality of what going on hormones would mean. And I had a lot of fears. I was like, one of the things that they warn you about is that you could go bald while going on testosterone. And for a long time, I was like, I don't really want to go bald. I'm not ready for that. Not to be vain, but it's not really that common. And I'll deal with it if it does happen. So hopefully not. At the moment, I'm just enjoying the ride of finally being on hormones, because it feels like it's been a very, very long wait. Even though, like, some people may say it hasn't been, for me it feels like every day was so prolonged when all I wanted was to be on this one thing, and I couldn't quite get there yet. So it's really brilliant to finally actually be sitting here and know that I'm 1 month on. So yeah.
1 month.
Yeah.
I was going to do that too.
Oh, it's so corny. I suppose that's it for now. We could probably keep talking forever about these things, because Moni and I have a reputation for just talking non-stop for a very long time. We're very good at it.
Yes.
And there's so many different points that you cover and look at and examine more, and I'm sure Moni probably had a lot more in her mind that she could say about it, and I have a lot more that I could say about it. But yeah, that's our lot for now. So here's to the journey ahead and future, and for the first time ever, I'm actually really excited for the future, which is a big change for me. So word thingy that I like, that is cool, and that we should totally use more is Oniomania, which it means an uncontrollable desire to buy things, which it's kind of me. Alright, so see you next time, fellow humans, and I hope you have a really awesome Christmas, yeah. Merry Christmas!
And New Year.
And a Happy New Year, yeah. I'm glad you're here, I would have forgotten that. Alright.